Hello everybody, I am Sofía Saborido. I am collaborating with this Unidos Tango Festival from Buenos Aires. Thank you for being there, for helping as well. And the class that I've chosen for today, it's about how to protect the spine, how to avoid possible pain that we may have when dancing. It's a class for both roles. Any level can do it, and you don't need a partner. Yes, the only thing that we will need is a chair with a hard surface, so no cushion, or a little bench if you have. It can do as well. Okay, so I wait for you to go and look for it, and we can start the class. The topic of today is not very traditional in the sense that it's not just a tango class, but it's more related to health. But I think it's quite useful because we always have a lot of questions about the body posture when dancing, and also because it's good to bear in mind that the body is the tool we have to enjoy the dance and life in general. So it's important to take care of it, yeah, to respect it. I don't know you, but I want to dance until I am super old, and for that I really need to take care of my spine. So let's start the class. The function of the spine is mainly to align the three volumes, which are the hips, the ribcage, and the head. Yes, and this alignment, it's quite perfect at the beginning of our lives. If you observe a child of 3 or 4 year old, you'll see that they are naturally straight, relaxed, everything is into its right place. But unfortunately, with time, according to the activities that we do in our job, the daily life, or the lack of physical activity, or the gravity acting vertically in our bodies every day, there are many reasons that affect this alignment, and little by little we start to have it not so straight. Okay, so what I would like to do today is to point out some typical postural issues that we observe when we are dancing tango. Okay, so the first tendency that we see in the bodies is to do a little bit like this, no? We have the dorsal area in a kind of kyphosis, and this brings the hip to be a little bit forward to compensate, yeah? The psoas gets shortened, and usually the knees are locked, yeah? So it looks a little bit like this, and maybe the head goes a little bit forward as well to compensate, yeah? There's always a compensation of the spine. When something goes forward, then there's another part that goes backwards, and so on. So this is a typical thing, and the fact of being like this brings the weight of the body quite backwards in our heels. So then you wonder, how are you gonna embrace your partner partner if you are so much in the back. For a close embrace, this is quite an issue. Another issue that is very common is to have, mostly for ladies, the body a little bit like this. Yes, because this is how we manage to make the room for our partners, but this is generates a compression in the lumbar area that is really very painful and is not good for your spine. When I started dancing tango some months ago, that was my problem. I had this posture because I didn't know how to make the room for the lower body, and no one explained me how to do it. But then later, with many years later, talking with osteopaths and physiotherapists and dance teachers, I understood that the work of the spine is not horizontal. Yeah, it's we're going to see a little bit this in some minutes. I want to just finish this catalog of usual tango postures or mistakes that we make. So then we have another typical thing, that is when we tilt to the sides, no? For example, when the guys try to make room for the lady, they do a little bit like this. They put the head on the side, they go like this, so we can be there, and maybe the arms go a little bit like this, okay? And this is very nice of you guys, but it's not good for you, so pay attention. And another thing that we followers, we do to the side is when we are in a close embrace and we want to really hug, we go to look for the embrace with a lot of stretching here, but then this other side gets shortened, yeah? So we are a little bit like this. You see, it's really not a good deal to modify the spine because of the embrace, yeah? Already the tongue embrace is not symmetric, right? Because we have an arm like this and the other like this or like this, but we try as much as possible to let the spine be aligned and straight and not to be affected by this embrace. So one thing is the central part of the body, and another thing is what we do with the arms, yes? So it's not a good deal to sacrifice the alignment because of the embrace, okay? So what I would like to do is to go to the chair. Take your chairs. We're going to sit in the edge of the chair. Try to align your knees with your hips, not too close, not too far away. Okay? We're going to explore all this range that we have over our sitting bones. Yeah, the sitting bones are these two bones that we have in the butt that we use to sit over. I hope you can feel them. If you need, you can look for them by touching. Yeah? And let's see all this spectrum of possibilities that we have rolling over the sitting bones. This is what I call the TV posture. Yeah, it's not very helpful for dancing. It's very comfortable though, but we're not going to use that one. And then on the other extreme of that one, we have the collapsing forward. As you can see there, all my organs and my torso is falling forward. And this is tensing my back because she's doing all the job here, yeah? So what I would like to do is to include the core as part of this alignment in order to have the three volumes together, the hips, the ribcage, and the head, connected by the spine. Of course, we have a natural shape. The spine is not completely straight, of course, but there is an alignment that we need to respect in order to protect the spine. So the work of the spine, as I was telling you before, doesn't work horizontally. Yes? What we need to look for is a vertical alignment. And for this work, we are not really using the outside layer of abs, the one that we see and that we really want to have perfectly designed. It's great if you have it. But what works for protecting the spine is the third layer, is the inner layer of muscles that are around the spine. I don't know the names in English. It's recto del abdomen y el transverso in Spanish. Well, you Google it later. And the work of these inner muscles is to elongate the spine. So we don't want to have stiff muscles or to keep a position that is compressing our body. But actually it's rather the expansion that we are looking for to make room between the vertebrae and between the joints. Yeah. So when we are sitting on the chair, what we are looking for is to make room by pushing with the sitting bones on the chair. Yes, I will do it. I don't know if you can see because it's quite a small movement, but the first thing I do is to, as if I want to push the chair with my sitting bones, and this as a result made me expand a little bit upwards. Yes, I hope you are doing this with me in your houses. It's very awkward not to see you guys. And I must confess, I am very, very nervous about giving a lesson to a camera, as you may have noticed already. Okay, but this is the way it is. We have to adapt to the situation. So try a couple of times to feel this alignment, feel that you're making room in your body because you're pushing the chair. Yes, it's like the action that you do right before standing up. Yes, you want to stand up, but you don't go. And this stretching, I can feel it up to the top of my spine. I feel it here in the neck. I feel it here in the core. Okay? And if you want, you can help yourself from the arms, because you don't want the shoulders to go up with the spine. Yeah, the stretching is just in the middle of your body. All the periphery goes down at the same time. Yes, when I push the chair, it's just my spine going up and then everything falling down. Boom. I verify that the shoulders are not involved in this job. Okay? So now we're going to add to this pushing that we had, the contact with the chair, we're going to add the contact of the feet with the floor. So if you want, you can put your feet as much as possible under your body, yes? So not only I will be pushing the chair, but now I will be feeling my weight in my feet, and I will push the floor as if to stand up. Just try that a couple of times. You push and you are going to stand up. Okay? So now let's go for stand up, but we don't want to do it as the old man, like this. We will do it as vertical as possible. So I will push and I will stretch because of that pushing. And push to stretch. Let's do it a couple of times. You connect, you feel the weight of your body over the feet, and because of that, you stand up. You use that pushing to stand up. Yes? Try it a couple of times. And also check as much as possible that when you are doing it, you are aligned in the torso. Yes? If you need, you can check with a mirror. The ideal would be that you feel it from inside out and you don't need an external vision to check this. But if you maybe you think that you are straight and you are like this, maybe a mirror will help you to correct the alignment. Yes, so it's a good tool to start with if you need to check from outside. Okay, so now let's bring this pushing that we were doing on the chair to a simple change of weight. Yes, we're still not thinking of tango. Actually, I am barefoot to feel better the floor, and I would like to focus more on how it feels to perceive the weight. Yes, how it is to perceive the weight before we start dancing, because what we want to do is to start building the axis using this contact that we have with the floor first. Actually, I like to imagine that the body is like an elastic, but to have an elastic you need two ends, right? So one end is the floor, is very concrete, we can feel it, we can see it, but the other end is imaginary, invisible. Yeah, so you may have heard this many times from your teachers. Imagine that the ceiling is over you and that between the floor and the ceiling you want to make a lot of room for yourself. Yes, actually this invisible end would be the gravity that is over us, although we don't see it, but it's working, compressing our bodies every day. So we want to make the most of our spine to fight that gravity. So first of all, just let your body fall down to the floor. You can even kind of sit in your heel. Start from zero, from a really laid back position, and then little by little start to feel the pushing of the floor and observe how this affects your alignment. Yes, and then you can change weight and you start again. I feel my weight, I push to build my alignment. You check with a mirror if you need. Check how you are. yes? And then you change weight, and again, just let everything fall down like a sack of potatoes, and you start from down up. You feel the stretching in all the joints, the knee, the ankles, the hip, the space between the hip and the rib cage, the neck, and then you change weight. Sack of potatoes, and you start again. Boom. And remember that this elastic is always flexible. We don't want to get rigid with this, yes? Elastic is always elastic. It's not a piece of wood. So it feels like you don't reach a limit in this expansion. It's going on and on. You push, you expand, but you never lock, yeah? Especially pay attention to the knees, that we have a tendency to lock sometimes. So to finish, I leave you with a quote from my gym teacher in France that I really respect. She's a very wise lady. She says that the real age of a body is revealed by the state of its spine. So you better take care of that spine. I would really like to hear your comments or questions that you may have about this topic or another topic in Tango. So if you want, you can write to me. I'm on Instagram, Sofía with F _Saborido, and I would love to help if I can. I hope that we will be able to hug again in the Milongas very soon. I send you in the meantime a virtual hug, and thank you very much for participating on this project. Bye bye.